Maybe you haven't realized it yet, but 2026 could be the year your car becomes too expensive to keep. New rules, new bans, new taxes, and some of them are already decided. Worst of all, most drivers won't even know the bill is coming until they open the letter that sets the tone. If you own a car in Germany, 2026 isn't just a new year. It's a financial minefield. 12. The new mandatory digital TV diagnosis. You think your car is fine, but what if everything you've relied on fails to test before you even leave the inspection station? In 2026, TEV testing enters the digital age, and that's bad news for older vehicles. Instead of a basic visual check or short test drive, every car will face deeper analysis, full digital fault log extraction, small issues, aging sensors, catalytic converter inefficiencies that mechanics used to overlook will now appear on a screen and be flagged instantly. No more "it'll probably pass next time." Even a minor oil pressure deviation or a slightly unreliable injector can mean automatic failure. I've seen it in workshops. A 2015 diesel that ran fine most of the time, with a check engine light that blinked occasionally, was suddenly deemed non-compliant. The owner faced repairs worth $1,500 just to regain approval. Online forums are already filled with complaints, unexpected failures, shocking repair bills, and recall issues. Some cars aren't easy to fix. Replacing sensors or retrofitting emissions modules can be astronomically expensive. The result, your resale value drops before you even list the car. What once seemed reliable suddenly becomes a burden, trapping you between repair costs and legal requirements. And most drivers won't realize it until the inspection office hands them the defect report. Have you experienced something like this? Share your story in the comments. This happens more often than people think. 11. EV charging tariff reform. Peak time preaching. You thought switching to an EV would save money. But what if the thing that's supposed to make life cheaper charging turns into a hidden cost trap? In 2026, flat charging fees could disappear. Instead, peak time pricing may be introduced, meaning a simple evening charge could cost double. Home chargers won't fully protect you either. Smart meter requirements mean electricity tariffs can adjust automatically, often without warning. Imagine coming home after a long day, plugging in your EV, and hours later the bill hits like a punch. Hundreds more than last month. Commuters who charge after work get hit hardest, quietly punished for timing they didn't realize mattered. EV forums already show panic, drivers reporting 50 to 100% higher electricity bills than expected. Resale values may drop as buyers avoid cars with unpredictable operating costs. The betrayal feels real. People trusted the promise of clean and affordable driving, only to learn that 2026 changes could erase the advantage. 10. New inner-city driving ban zones. Blue zones. What if the car you've relied on for years suddenly becomes unwelcome in your own city? Germany is introducing blue zones with extremely low emission rules, where older gasoline and diesel vehicles can be fully banned. Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, Stuttgart. These aren't small towns. These are major cities where millions live and work. Imagine your Euro 5 diesel running perfectly, yet suddenly banned from entire neighborhoods. Streets you've driven for years could become off-limits overnight. Mechanics are already hearing horror stories. Drivers forced to pay for expensive retrofits or upgrades or risk fines just to get to work. Parking restrictions increase, and your freedom vehicle starts feeling like a liability. City offices get flooded with complaints. Owners who spent thousands maintaining their cars now find them practically useless. Many try to trade in their still reliable cars, only to discover resale values have crashed. Most drivers won't feel it until the first fine or ban notice lands in the mailbox. 9. Mandatory black box event data recorders. Imagine your car quietly watching you every turn, every brake, every acceleration, and reporting it to an invisible system. Starting in 2026, new cars in Germany must store detailed event data: crashes, speed, acceleration, throttle position, even GPS location. This isn't just about safety. Insurers can request the data to calculate your risk profile. Picture this: You brake hard in sudden traffic, exactly what a careful driver should do. That one event could label you high risk, and your premium jumps no warning, no explanation. Privacy impacts are huge. Your driving history becomes a currency, passed between insurers, regulators, and possibly fleet managers. People feel betrayed. You thought the vehicle belonged to you, but now it's a silent witness to every decision behind the wheel, and many won't realize how expensive that can get until the first premium hike arrives by mail. Point 8. New road tax. Structure, engine displacement penalty. What if your engine size suddenly matters not for performance, but for your wallet? Germany is planning a new road use tax structure for 2026 that penalizes engines above certain displacement levels like 1.6L to 0.0L and above (SUVs, vans, and older sedans. Once reliable family cars could suddenly become costly. Imagine a car you've driven for years now costing an extra $200 to $600 per year just to keep it legally on the road. Even fuel-efficient gasoline engines may not escape. Mechanics report customers shocked by the scale of increases, and forums are full of complaints about forced upgrades or early replacement. The betrayal is subtle but real. You maintained your car perfectly, yet a bureaucratic change turns it into a financial burden. Resale value drops as buyers avoid high-tax engines, so owners pay more for a car that hasn't changed at all. 7. Mandatory ADAS calibration after repairs. What if a small fender bender drains your bank account faster than an engine failure? From 2026, Germany will require mandatory ADAS calibration after any repair involving radar, camera systems, windshields, bumpers, even minor sensor adjustments. What used to be optional is now legally required. You scrape a parking pillar and think a simple repair is enough, then the system flags a lane assist or adaptive cruise error. That small repair becomes up to $1,200 because sensors must be recalibrated. Mechanics say complaints are rising. Drivers are blindsided by the new rules, and insurers may treat non-calibrated vehicles as non-compliant, potentially denying claims. I've seen a family sedan fail inspection because a front radar wasn't calibrated properly after a bumper replacement. The owner then faces repair costs, penalties, and a car that suddenly can't pass inspection. 6. Stricter diesel AdBlue rules and emissions limits. What if the diesel engine you trusted for reliability becomes a ticking financial bomb? In 2026, Germany will enforce tighter NOx limits, pushing older diesels to burn more AdBlue to comply. What used to be a minor refill could become a monthly expense, hundreds of dollars. Even some Euro 6 models may not be safe. Mechanics already report vans and SUVs failing emissions tests, losing efficiency, or even entering limp mode during normal driving. Compliance could require software updates or hardware retrofits costing thousands of dollars, and not every vehicle can be fixed quickly. Forums are filled with angry owners, higher AdBlue consumption, sudden dashboard warnings, falling resale value. The betrayal is obvious. You maintain the engine properly, but new rules can turn it into an expensive liability, often only discovered when a warning light appears or TEV rejects the car. 5. New tire regulation, rolling resistance rule. If the tires you relied on for safety suddenly become illegal to buy in 2026, Germany will enforce new rolling resistance standards, meaning low-efficiency tires may no longer be sold. That affordable set you bought last year? Gone. The remaining options are premium tires that cost much more. You tried to replace worn tires on your family SUV or diesel car, and suddenly only expensive brands are available, hundreds of dollars more per set. It's not just cost. EV owners say the wrong tires can drastically reduce range. Diesel drivers may see fuel efficiency drop. Everyday driving becomes a slow money leak. You shopped smart, maintain your car, and now regulations dictate your spending. Point 4. Insurance algorithm upgrade. Age-based risk models. If your insurance knows more about you than you think and uses it to raise your premium overnight? In 2026, German insurers are expected to expand AI-based risk scoring Vehicle history, driving patterns, commute routes, city traffic exposure, even age. It's no longer about accidents, it's what the algorithm predicts. Imagine being a careful, claim-free 40-year-old. The AI checks your model's claim history, your Berlin commute pattern, and suddenly your premium jumps 20% or more. Forums are already full of anger over unfair increases with no accidents or violations. This can also crush resale value. Higher insurance costs push buyers away from certain models, so owners only find out how bad it is when renewal time arrives. 3. The repair wave ahead of Euro 7 compliance checks. What if your car, which passed every inspection, suddenly can't meet tomorrow's standard in 2026? Germany will begin enforcement checks linked to upcoming Euro 7 expectations, and many vehicles may fail without expensive emissions upgrades, catalytic converters, NOx storage catalysts, particulate filter systems that used to operate quietly in the background will be monitored more strictly. Your Euro 6 diesel van could fail a pre-check because NOx storage performance isn't optimal. That triggers mandatory repairs. Workshops could be overwhelmed as owners panic over bills, $2,000 to $3,000 for retrofits. Even small gasoline engines aren't safe. Filters and catalysts get tested harder than ever. Resale value drops as buyers anticipate the costs. This isn't just regulation, it's a wave of surprise repair bills. 2. Parking zone price explosion. What if simply parking outside your home costs you hundreds more each year? In 2026, many German cities may raise resident parking permits by 50%, targeting gasoline and diesel cars, while EVs may get small discounts. If you've been paying $30 a month, expect jumps to $90 to $120 with little warning. A notice lands in your mailbox, and suddenly you're forced to budget for a steep new expense. This is systemic. It hits anyone with a conventional engine in city areas. It feels like betrayal. You followed the rules, maintained the car, and still city policy turns daily parking into a hidden tax. 1. Fuel tax change in 2026. The silent price increase. What if every time you fill up in 2026, you pay more than the pump price without realizing it? Germany is introducing a new CO2 fuel tax that could quietly raise gasoline and diesel prices by 0.10 to $0.5 per liter. This doesn't just hit drivers, it ripples into everything. Delivery services, food transport, distribution. Those costs get passed to consumers, making groceries, online orders, and home deliveries quietly more expensive. The betrayal hurts because it's invisible. You drove responsibly, managed your budget, and a policy shift changes everything. Most people won't feel it until their monthly fuel spending jumps, and by then, adjusting is harder. 2026 isn't just another year. It's a turning point for drivers in Germany. These changes creep in quietly and squeeze wallets, cars, and daily life. Most drivers won't notice until it's too late. But that's not the full story. What if mechanics are also preparing raising prices, parts costs, and labor in ways you won't see coming? And what about your fueling habits? Could the way you refuel damage modern engines faster than cheap gasoline ever did? Comment below which of these 12 changes will hit you the hardest. Subscribe to our newsletter so you aren't caught off guard by the next wave of rules, fees, and hidden costs coming soon.